Bible in a Year Live, a Chronological Project, Week 31, Day 6, New English Translation. God's glory leaves the temple. As I watched, I saw on the platform, above the top of the cherubim, something like a sapphire, resembling the shape of a throne, appearing above them. The Lord said to the man dressed in linen, "Go between the wheelwork underneath the cherubim. Fill your hands with burning coals from among the cherubim, and scatter them over the city." He went as I watched. The cherubim were standing on the south side of the temple when the man went in, and a cloud filled the inner court. Then the glory of the Lord arose from the cherub and moved to the threshold of this temple. The temple was filled with the cloud, while the court was filled with the brightness of the Lord's glory. The sound of the wings of the cherubim could be heard from the outer court, like the sound of the sovereign God when he speaks. When the Lord commanded the man dressed in linen, "Take fire from within the wheelwork from among the cherubim," the man went in and stood by one of the wheels. Then one of the cherubim stretched out his hand toward the fire which was among the cherubim. He took some and put it into the hands of the man dressed in linen, who took it and left. The cherubim appeared to have a form of human hands under their wings. As I watched, I noticed 4 wheels by the cherubim, 1 wheel beside each cherub. The wheels gleamed like jasper. As for their appearance, all 4 of them looked the same, something like a wheel within a wheel. When they moved, they would go into any of the 4 directions they faced without turning as they moved. In the direction the head would turn, they would follow without turning as they moved, along with their entire bodies, their backs, their hands, and their wings. The wheels of the 4 of them were full of eyes all around. As for their wheels, they were called the wheelwork as I listened. Each of the cherubim had 4 faces. The first was the face of a cherub, the second that of a man, the third that of a lion, and the fourth that of an angel. The cherubim rose up. These were the living beings I saw at the Kebar River. When the cherubim moved, the wheels moved beside them. When the cherubim spread their wings to rise from the ground, the wheels did not move from their side. When the cherubim stood still, the wheels stood still, and when they rose up, the wheels rose up with them, for the spirit of the living beings was in the wheels. Then the glory of the Lord moved away from the threshold of the temple and stopped above the cherubim. The cherubim spread their wings and they rose up from the earth while I watched. When they went, the wheels went alongside them. They stopped at the entrance to the east gate of the Lord's temple as the glory of the God of Israel hovered above them. These were the living creatures which I saw at the Kebar River, underneath the God of Israel. I knew that they were cherubim. Each had 4 faces, each had 4 wings, and the form of human hands under the wings. As for the form of their faces, they were the faces whose appearance I had seen at the Kebar River. Each one moved straight ahead. The Fall of Jerusalem. A wind lifted me up and brought me to the east gate of the Lord's temple that faces the east. There, at the entrance of the gate, I noticed 25 men. Among them I saw Jahazaniah, son of Azur, and Pelatiah, son of Benaiah, officials of the people. The Lord said to me, "Son of man, these are the men who plot evil and give wicked advice in this city. They say, 'The time is not near to build houses. The city is a cooking pot, and we are the meat in it. Therefore, prophesy against them. Prophesy, son of man.' Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon me and said to me, 'Say, this is what the Lord says. This is what you are thinking. O house of Israel, I know what goes through your minds. You have killed many people in this city. You have filled its streets with corpses. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. The corpses you have dumped in the midst of this city are the meat, and this city is a cooking pot. But I will take you out of it. You fear the sword, so the sword I will bring against you, declares the sovereign Lord. But I will take you out of the city, and I will hand you over to foreigners. I will execute judgment on you. You will die by the sword. I will judge you at the border of Israel. Then you will know that I am the Lord. This city will not be a cooking pot for you, and you will not be meat within it. I will judge you at the border of Israel. Then you will know that I am the Lord, whose statutes you have not followed, and whose regulations you have not carried out. Instead, you have behaved according to the regulations of the nations around you. Now while I was prophesying, Pelatiah son of Benaiah died. Then I threw myself face down and cried out with a loud voice, Alas, sovereign Lord, you are completely wiping out the remnant of Israel. Then the word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, your brothers, your relatives, and the whole house of Israel, all of them are those to whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, They have gone far away from the Lord. To us this land has been given as a possession. Therefore, say this is what the sovereign Lord says. Although I have removed them far away from among the nations and have dispersed them among the countries, I have been a little sanctuary for them among the lands where they have gone. Therefore say, This is what the sovereign Lord says. When I regather you from the peoples and assemble you from the lands where you have been dispersed, I will give you back the country of Israel. When they return to it, they will remove from it all its detestable things and all its abominations. I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within them. I will remove the hearts of stone from their bodies, and I will give them tender hearts, so that they may follow my statutes and observe my regulations and carry them out. Then they will be my people, and I will be their God. But those whose hearts are devoted to detestable things and abominations, I hereby repay them for what they have done, says the sovereign Lord. Then the cherubim spread their wings and their wheels alongside them, while the glory of the God of Israel hovered above them. The glory of the Lord rose up from within the city and stopped over the mountain east of it. Then a wind lifted me up and carried me to the exiles in Babylonia, in the vision given to me by the Spirit of God. Then the vision I had seen went up from me, so I told the exiles everything the Lord had shown me. Previewing the exile. Then the word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, you are living in the midst of a rebellious house. They have eyes to see, but do not see, and ears to hear, but do not hear, because they are a rebellious house. Therefore, Son of man, pack up your belongings as if for exile. During the day, while they are watching, pretend to go into exile. Go from where you live to another place. Perhaps they will understand, although they are a rebellious house. Bring out your belongings, packed for exile during the day while they are watching, and go out at evening while they are watching, as if for exile. While they are watching, dig a hole in the wall and carry your belongings out through it. While they are watching, raise your baggage onto your shoulders and carry it out into the dark. You must cover your face so that you cannot see the ground, because I have made you an object lesson to the house of Israel. So I did just as I was commanded. I carried out my belongings packed for exile during the day, and at evening I dug myself a hole through the wall with my hands. I went out in the darkness, carrying my baggage on my shoulders while they watched. The word of the Lord came to me in the morning, Son of man, has not the house of Israel, that rebellious house, said to you, What are you doing? Say to them, This is what the sovereign Lord says. The prince will raise this burden in Jerusalem, and all the house of Israel within it. Say, I am an object lesson for you. Just as I have done, it will be done to them. They will go into exile and captivity. The prince who is among them will raise his belongings onto his shoulders in darkness and will go out. He will dig a hole in the wall to leave through. He will cover his face so that he cannot see the land with his eyes. But I will throw my net over him, and he will be caught in my snare. I'll bring him to Babylon, the land of the Chaldeans, but he will not see it, and there he will die. All his retinue, his attendants, and his troops I will scatter to every wind. I will unleash a sword behind them. Then they will know that I am the Lord when I disperse them among the nations and scatter them among the foreign countries. But I will let a small number of them survive the sword, famine, and pestilence, so that they can confess all their abominable practices to the nations where they go. Then they will know that I am the Lord. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, eat your bread with trembling, and drink your water with anxious shaking. Then say to the people of the land, This is what the sovereign Lord says about the inhabitants of Jerusalem and of the land of Israel. They will eat their bread with anxiety and drink their water in fright, for their land will be stripped bare of all it contains because of the violence of all who live in it. The inhabited towns will be left in ruins, and the land will be devastated. Then you will know that I am the Lord. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, What is this proverb you have in the land of Israel? The days pass slowly, and every vision fails. Therefore, tell them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I hereby end this proverb. They will not recite it in Israel any longer, but say to them, the days are at hand when every vision will be fulfilled. For there will no longer be any false visions or flattering omens amidst the house of Israel. For I, the Lord, will speak. Whatever word I speak will be accomplished. It will not be delayed any longer. Indeed, in your days, O rebellious house, I will speak the word and accomplish it, declares the sovereign Lord. The word of the Lord came to me. Take note, son of man. The house of Israel is saying, the vision that he sees is for distant days. He is prophesying about the far future. Therefore say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. None of my words will be delayed any longer. The word I speak will come to pass, declares the sovereign Lord. False prophets denounced. Then the word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel who are now prophesying. Say to the prophets who prophesy from their imagination, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Woe to the foolish prophets who follow their own spirit but have seen nothing. Your prophets have become like jackals among the ruins, O Israel. You have not gone up in the breaks in the wall, nor repaired a wall for the house of Israel, that I would stand strong in the battle on the day of the Lord. They see delusion, and their omens are a lie. They say, the Lord declares, though the Lord has not sent them. Yet they expect their word to be confirmed. Have you not seen a false vision and announced a lying omen when you say, the Lord declares, although I myself never spoke? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Because you have spoken false words and forecast delusion, look, I am against you, declares the sovereign Lord. My hand will be against the prophets who see delusion and announce lying omens. They will not be included in the council of my people, nor be written in the registry of the house of Israel, nor enter the land of Israel. Then you will know that I am the sovereign Lord. This is because they have led my people astray, saying, all is well, when things are not well. When anyone builds a wall without mortar, they coat it with whitewash. Tell the ones who coat it with whitewash that it will fall. When there is a deluge of rain, hailstones will fall and a violent wind will break out. When the wall has collapsed, people will ask you, where is the whitewash you coated it with? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. In my rage, I will make a violent wind break out. In my anger, there will be a deluge of rain and hailstones in destructive fury. I will break down the wall you coated with whitewash and knock it to the ground so that its foundation is exposed. When it falls, you will be destroyed beneath it, and you will know that I am the Lord. I'll vent my rage against the wall and against those who coated it with whitewash. Then I will say to you, the wall is no more, and those who whitewashed it are no more. Those prophets of Israel who would prophesy about Jerusalem and would see visions of peace for it, when there is no peace, declares the sovereign Lord. As for you, son of man, turn toward the daughters of your people who are prophesying from their imagination. Prophesy against them and say, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Woe to those who sew bands on all their wrists and make headbands for heads of every size to entrap people's lives. Will you entrap my people's lives, yet preserve your own lives? You have profaned me among my people for handfuls of barley and scraps of bread. You have put to death people who should not die and kept alive those who should not live by your lies to my people who listen to lies. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Take note that I am against your wristbands with which you entrapped people's lives like birds. I will tear them from your arms and will release the people's lives which you hunt like birds. I will tear off your headbands and rescue my people from your power. They will no longer be prey in your hands. Then you will know that I am the Lord. This is because you have disheartened the righteous person with lies, although I have not grieved him. And because you have encouraged the wicked person not to turn from his evil conduct and preserve his life. Therefore, you will no longer see false visions and practice divination. I will rescue my people from your power, and you will know that I am the Lord.